Alright, let's talk about another film that came out in 2019 that I did not get around to see, and that is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is the eighth film by writer-director Quentin Tarantino. This film essentially shows the life of a demeaning or kind of failing actor who once had a very successful Western show, missed a few big movies that could have really made him. He's now back doing another show that's really not his best work. He's also stuck going to Italy to film some spaghetti westerns, which he thinks is a terrible idea. He's not going to be in Hollywood, where he thinks that's where you are successful. Also along with him for the ride is his stunt double, Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt. So while all this stuff is happening with Ricky Dalton, aka Leonardo's character, at the same time it's a fictionalized history of the events that happened in the late 60s in Los Angeles with Sharon Tate and Abigail Folger and the Manson family, and how they seemingly killed these people in cold blood, and it was an awful crime scene. And so this film also uses those events, but in their own way, to create this fictionalized narrative with Ricky Dalton. So things that I really enjoyed about this film, I enjoyed obviously the throwback. That's what Quentin Tarantino is best at. I can't think of a contemporary film from him. He's very much of a guy who's stuck in nostalgia land and always kind of going to throwbacks and throwback music and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was very well done. The art direction is, again, very incredible. Very accurate to the time period, while also seemingly feeling quite usual, even though I obviously didn't grow up anywhere close to the 60s or the late 60s. But I'm definitely familiar enough with it that I definitely could appreciate it the way that he is. This film also has a very, very impressive cast. I didn't want to do a whole cast listing. I just want to talk about Leo and Brad, because there is so many supportive characters in here. Margot Robbie plays an amazing Sharon Tate. Just her look itself, it just looks so accurate to who Sharon Tate is. And her performance throughout it was absolutely enduring and amazing. There's also some amazing actors who are now pretty Hollywood standards, or are really showing their true colors to be this generation's actors. People like Austin Butler, Margaret Qualley, Mickey Madison, who I thought was absolutely phenomenal in Anora, Maya Hawke, Sydney Sweeney. A very, very impressive amount of supporting characters who are really, this seems to be the project that really launched them into this career trajectory that they're now on. Also, too, I think Quentin Tarantino is pretty famous for having some pretty amazing soundtracks, especially in the 90s. Some of the best soundtrack picks. He was able to find stuff that was popular, but he was able to really reuse it again and give that song like a second life, or he was able to find some really obscure songs that was really, really good and underrated, use it in his film and give it a boost that it probably would not have gotten without him. But in this film, I kind of wonder if that playlist is kind of drying up. It seems like a lot of these films, I'm not saying any of the music choices were bad. They were all pretty good. But I'm used to a Quentin Tarantino where I'm like, holy shit, I gotta find that song. I gotta get the soundtrack. I want to listen to this because this is so amazing. Where I was just kind of like, these are good, but it's nothing that I'm going to be downloading or actively seeking out those music. Also, too, Leo's accent is a bit to get used to. It is very, very fake, not natural. It's this fake southern draw mixed with, I guess, kind of a Cali guy. He kind of seemingly seems to fall in and out of it at times. It just does. I just think he could have just went standard. I don't know why he had to have that. It just kind of takes you out of his character, and he is a really good character. So it just kind of sucks that there's something that's going to diminish you, and you're kind of going to maybe take him less seriously. When I think if he just had a regular accent or just talked like Leo, or did an accent he was a lot more comfortable with, it would have worked out a lot better. Al Pacino is also in this film, and he's a delight. He does a great job. He portrays himself as a Hollywood executive at that time that is trying to help Ricky Dalton get some more roles. He's only in a handful of scenes, and they're not very long, but Pacino is just a treasure, and to have him in any movie is always great to see. This is also Luke Perry's last film, and this film definitely has, and I think a lot of Quentin Tarantino when he really hit success, and I would say for me, the turning point was after Kill Bill. he really did get self-indulgent. I think he always kind of was a self-indulgent guy into the stuff he likes or the cinema that he really borrows from. But this felt like 240. That is long for a film like this. I think there could have been probably about half an hour chopped from this that weren't really needed for this film. It has that slow burn to it. I guess maybe he was going for a Western feel by just being long and slow. And the writing was good. The writing, I would not say is bad writing. I thought the ideas of this film was really fun, and the characters it creates are really great. But the writing is not, again, it's not that Quentin Tarantino writing that is really going to blow you away or really keep you compelled or be like, this is such fucking genius, like in Pulp Fiction and stuff like that. So I'm not going to say it's bad writing per se, but I just say it just seemed like pretty average writing for someone like Quentin Tarantino. It wasn't something that felt very unique to him where you could really see his voice throughout it. Some of the impressive thing, I really loved the scene where he almost got the role that Steve McQueen got for The Great Escape. That was a really, really fun scene. But I wouldn't, I almost was like going to really highly praise it. But I don't want to just shit on it, but I just saying like this is a technology that's not new. You can insert yourself into film for probably about the last 15 years comfortably easy, maybe 20 to 25 years it was not as easy, but now it's like that's not really something that's going to blow me away that much. It's like a lot of films have done it, but I thought this was also one of the best uses of the film. Enjoyed that scene, but I wouldn't say it's anything that's really that mind-blowing. And really where I think a lot of this film gets a lot of its praises from is the ballsy ending. And I thought the ending was quite fun. This isn't a very violent or action-oriented Tarantino film. It's a pretty subtle character piece, but when it finally picks up at the end, when the Manson family comes and starts coming up with some ideas and plans, I thought that was excellent. Brad Pitt did some amazing stunt work in here. Some great gore, some kills. Just a lot of that good old Tarantino violence that you and your family love. Overall, I definitely would recommend this film. I think it is slightly too long, and that they could have done some fixing on Ricky Dalton's character, and maybe kind of Tarantino could have brought more of his A game for writing. But overall, I would very highly recommend this film. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. And thank you guys so much for watching.